It's important to know that the U.S. Constitution applies to everyone physically present in the United States, regardless of their immigration status. This means that undocumented immigrants, like all people in the country, are protected by certain constitutional rights. One of the key rights is the right to due process. The Fifth Amendment says that no person can be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. This applies to everyone, including undocumented immigrants. Due process means that immigrants have the right to a fair and impartial hearing before the government can take away their freedom or property. However, there are some exceptions and complexities. For example, under the expedited removal process, which was created by the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act of 1996, immigrants who have been in the country illegally for less than 2 years and are apprehended within 100 miles of the border can be deported almost immediately without a court hearing. The exception here is for asylum seekers, who must be granted a hearing. In terms of legal counsel, the situation is a bit different. Since most deportation proceedings are civil rather than criminal cases, the right to a free attorney does not typically apply. However, if the case is treated as a criminal case, which has been the policy under the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy, then the right to counsel does apply. But even then, it's only guaranteed for felony charges, and crossing the border illegally is usually a misdemeanor. The Constitution also addresses the issue of education for the children of undocumented immigrants. While the Constitution itself does not explicitly mention education, the Supreme Court has ruled that children of undocumented immigrants have the right to public education. This was established in the 1982 case Plyler v. Doe, which held that denying public education to children based on their immigration status would violate the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. Another important point is that the government has broad powers to regulate immigration. The Supreme Court has consistently upheld that the government has the authority to admit or exclude aliens, and decisions regarding immigration are subject to limited judicial review. This means that while undocumented immigrants have certain constitutional protections, the government's decisions on immigration are generally given a lot of deference by the courts. In summary, the Constitution protects undocumented immigrants with rights such as due process and equal protection under the law, but there are specific circumstances and exceptions, especially regarding deportation and legal counsel. The government's power to regulate immigration is significant, but it must still operate within the bounds of the Constitution.
To learn more, check out these links, which you can click in the description below. And feel free to comment your questions. We're here to help.
Want the inside scoop on your neighborhood? Imagine knowing exactly what your neighbors paid or who actually owns that stunning house down the block. At countyoffice.org, you can create a free account and snoop through over 150 million property records, owner names, mortgage details, sale prices, all those things other sites make you pay for. Don't miss out on the fun. Just Google countyoffice.org property records or head to countyoffice.org directly and create your free account today. Go on, get your snoop on.